Officers and brothers of the 8th Annual Encampment of the Department of Southwest Sons of the Veterans of the Civil War now come to order for the purposes of our memorial ceremony. The officers will assume their respective stations. All will be in order. JVC, FVC in the white. Brother Tim. You can stand. I think I can stand right now. And patriotic instructor, Helen, please take your station. All will be in order. Listen, all to the parable of immortality. I am standing upon the seashore. A ship at my side spreads her white sails to the morning breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty and strength, and I stand and watch until at last she hangs like a speck of white cloud, just where sea and sky come down to mingle with each other. Then someone at my side says, "There she goes." Going where? Going from my sight, that is all. She is just as large in mast and hull and spar as she was when she left my side, and just as able to bear her load of living freight to the place of destination. Her diminished size is in me, not in her. And just at that moment, when someone at my side says, "There she goes," there are other eyes watching her coming, and other voices ready to take up the loud shout. "Here she comes." That's from Arthur and Van Dyke. Senior Vice Commander, to what purpose shall we devote these moments of our meeting?
For the memory of our departed brothers who were honored members of our order and the department.
Secretary, were our brothers true to the order and did they loyally support it?
They did, Commander.
Patriotic instructor, were our brothers true to the principles denoted by the flag of your station, patriotism, strength, and courage?
They were, Commander.
Senior Vice Commander, were our brothers true to the principles denoted by the flag of your station, charity and purity?
They were, Commander.
Junior Vice Commander, were our brothers true to the principles denoted by the flag of your station, fraternity and faithfulness?
They were, Commander.
Brother Guide, were our brothers true to the flag of our country, and were they ready to defend it against all enemies?
They were.
All rise. Chaplain, drink our charter in mourning out of respect for our departed brothers. Chaplain.
Stand if you can. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for our thou with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Be seated. Chaplain, have you any word of comfort for us from the holy book, which has an honored place on our altar?
God is our refuge and strength, a very pleasant help in trouble. Jesus Christ, I was the resurrection and the life.
You were banging on it.
He breatheth in me, though we were dead. He shall be, he shall live. And whosoever liveth and breatheth in me shall never die. He also said, Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions, these were not so. I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you, and I will go and prepare a place for you. I will come again and receive you into myself, and there I will, ye may be also. Amen.
Chaplain, please recite the name of our dear departed brothers and sisters.
Sister Cynthia Cruz, Sergeant Warner Ward, Detachment number 1. Brother David L. Cliff Peter, MG John F. Huxworth, camp number 15, 80-year member. Brother Langola Parker, Detachment Peak number 1. Brother Charles I. Fox, Detachment Peak number 1. Brother Robert I. Irvin, General R.H.G. Minty Camp number 2.
Thank you, Chaplain. I respectfully call upon past Minty Camp Commander, Brother Mark Clark, who will pay tribute to our dear friend and brother, Brother Robert B. Irwin. Brother Mark, please step forward.
I'm sad to come and just say a few words about our dear brother and friend, Robert B. Irwin. Brother Irwin was camp commander at Minty Camp for 2 years, and an officer and a loyal brother for 5 or 6 years. I think he joined maybe a year before I did. He was an amazing person for me to follow and a tremendous guide for me in I assumed the camp commander responsibilities. He was very active in our work in the Evergreen Cemetery, which is where the GAR plot was, and led our efforts to renew a flagpole adjacent to that plot. Raised money for doing that, undertook that, and was present at essentially every camp event. And played, like I said, played a huge leadership role during that very difficult pandemic times. And so helped to move us into technology. And later in life, he was preceded in death by about 12 years by his wife. And he subsequently developed cancer, as she had also passed from, and was in the process of undergoing cancer treatment when he died unexpectedly on the 5th of October. So he's left a very large hole for Minty Camp, and I would say for this department in our order in general. And we mourn his loss and remember him fondly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Brothers, what attitude should we always maintain to the memory of our dear departed brothers? The faults of our brothers and sisters we write upon the sand, their virtues upon the tablets of love and memory. Chaplain will lead us in a closing prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, the Father of our Lord Jesus, and the Father of us all, we pray your blessing to abide upon this humble service. Bless the memory of our departed brothers. Bless and comfort those near and dear to him by the ties of the flesh and of fertility. Help us, each one, to appreciate more and more the blessings we receive daily from your great heart of love, and help us to provide our gratitude for all those good gifts by our lives and usefulness and integrity. Bless our friends and brothers everywhere, and may we be worthy of them and you. Lead us generously by your strong right hand, and make us all to be the citizens we are privileged to be in this godly land which you have given us. We ask this in the name of the Lord, our Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. This concludes our memorial ceremony. I have on schedule here to take a 5-minute break. I think we took, you think break is needed? I see heads going, hey, some yes, some no. I think,
Some paperwork.
yeah, I think we'll go ahead and move on. I'm gonna remove the charter since our memorial ceremony is over and we don't have any orders from the committee of the chief. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Please be seated. We're already seated. Officers and members and guests of the 8th Annual Encampment of Department of the Southwest, Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, now come to order. Brothers, upon what principles is our order founded and what duties do we instill?
Fraternity, charity.
Patriotic instructor, what is the color of your station and what does it represent?
Station is red, denoting patriotism, strength, and courage.
Senior Vice Commander, what is the color of your station and what does it represent?
White denoting charity and purity.
Junior Vice Commander, what is the color of your station? What does it represent?
Blue denoting fraternity and faithfulness.
Guide, the emblem of your colors, your commander station. I'll read it since we appointed a guide today. Our guide could not make it. We appointed Brother Bill Smith to be our guide. So the flag of our country, the union of the red, white, and blue, for the preservation of which we have all pledged our lives. Brothers, we meet again as sons of Union veterans of the Civil War in annual session to review past work and plan for the future. May our conduct and deliberations be marked by mutual tolerance and fraternal courtesy, ever keeping in mind our duty to our country, to our order, and to ourselves. Chaplain Haynes, Chaplain Keller, in both the divine blessing, please. Please stand.
Our Heavenly Father, the high and mighty ruler of the universe, who looks down upon the government of men, we earnestly ask your favor to bless our native land and preserve in purity and integrity its free institution for all coming time. Bless our order, grant that it may long exist, and that it may continue to be an instrument of great good to all. Give us willing hands and ready hearts to carry out properly his principles, objectives. Keep green in our mind the memory of those who sacrificed so much that the life of the nation might be preserved, and deal with them, as in all things, with your special mercy. Give us your aid in conducting the business for which we are assembled, and so bless us that charity and justice and peace and harmony shall remain and flow from us. Amen.
Amen.
Brothers, we will now give the Pledge of Allegiance. Patriotic instructor, Brother Heller, change hats, and please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
By virtue of the power and authority vested in me, I now declare the 8th Annual Encampment, Department of the Southwest, Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, duly open for the transaction of business that may legally and properly come before you. Please be seated. I'd like to now introduce our honored guests. Unfortunately, Brother PCNC Paquette could not make it today. He fell ill and was not able to travel. He expresses his sincere apologies and regret that he could not make it today. I will tell you, I spoke to him on the phone and he sounded like a kid who lost his puppy because he really wanted to be here. He was sad that he couldn't make it. He was sad he couldn't be here. So standing in today is our appointed representative from National who will be doing the installation of officers, and that is past Department Commander David Swanson. So welcome from Nashville by way of Arizona. We also have our DFECW National President, our sister Berta Molesky. Welcome. Thank you. We have our Vice President of Missing in America Project Veteran Recovery Program guest who could not make it as well. That's Clyde Taylor, also due to illness. So our brother Tim Prater, who is a member of that same organization, will be accepting a donation for the group. Looking forward to that. It says I could give a recap of activities. I think we're going to all see everything that we accomplished over the last year from the officer reports and everything that you hear reported. But I feel like it was a very successful year. I think we grew a lot. I think we learned a lot, and it was very satisfying to me personally. And I feel like I'm leaving the order as good, if not better, place than I got here. And now I call on Sister Verna Molesky to give a few words. God, please escort Sister Molesky to the podium. Be seated. Welcome.
I am truly honored to be standing here today as the national president of the Daughters of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, 1861 to 1865. I truly would not be here as the national president of my organization, nor would the Arizona Daughters be hosting the 133rd National Convention without the spirit of unity and fraternal relations with our Arizona sons. Our work together put us on the map, truly. As the descendants of those who fought for a united and strong nation, the bonds that tie us are unbreakable. In this moment of fellowship, let us honor the sacrifices of the past and strengthen our resolve to do all that we can to preserve the memory of our heroic ancestors. As you engage in discussions and activities during this encampment, may the spirit of camaraderie guide your endeavors, fostering a sense of purpose and mutual support among the sons and daughters of Union veterans of the Civil War. Looking ahead, we eagerly anticipate the upcoming National Convention of the Daughters of Union Veterans in Scottsdale, Arizona. This will be an opportunity for us as a collective force to further our commitment to preserving the heritage and principles for which our ancestors fought valiantly, and share our rich Arizona history with our out-of-state guests. In closing, I wish to extend my wishes for the Department of the Southwest to continue to have many years of growth and success in the future. Thank you again for inviting me.
God, will you please escort Sister Verna to her seat? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sister President, or President Sister.
See, you should have stayed up here.
I go.
That's true. Yes, we did. Issues. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I do want to say, we're really excited for the national meeting with the daughters, and lots of us will be participating. And that's August,
Well, the opening night is July 31st.
July 31st.
That's the big night.
July 31st. There'll be more coming about that, but
I
we
have invitations with me.
invitations if you want. Take one. But no, we're looking forward to that, and I personally am looking forward to having some fun and you know, enjoying the celebrating the moment.
We plan on making it fun.
Absolutely. Your meetings are more fun than ours. All right, we're in. Okay.
Point of order, PCNC, my favorite.
PCNC Paquette, welcome via Zoom. We're happy to have you. And Megan, would you like to say a few words?
I just apologize for not being able to be there in person, but I compliment your department on making this available virtually, especially for your members that can't get there. It's a wonderful tool. I've seen other departments use it very effectively while I was commander-in-chief, and I look forward to the rest of your meeting. You haven't already started, have you?
We had a memorial and just some remarks from our sister President Vernon.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I thought I saw that the invite was for I think 9:45 your time.
Yeah, we started at 9:30. The memorial went quick.
Okay.
So,
Okay, no problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
you haven't missed a whole lot. Well, thank you for coming. We appreciate it virtually.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
So if you administrative comments I have. So restrooms are behind you. I think you might probably know that by now. We have a silent auction. Please participate. There's a lot of really great items there. Brother David Moore is at the auction table, waiting to help you become a winner. Winner will be announced following lunch. And per CNR Chapter 2, Article 3, this encampment is being conducted both in person and electronically by Zoom for members of delegates unable to attend in person. So we took full advantage of that regulation. I must also remark that for legal purposes, individuals attending events hosted by Sons of Union veterans of the Civil War, by virtue of their attendance, agree to the usage of their likeness in the banner, any camper department newsletter, any SUVCW website, and or on any SUVCW social media outlet, promotional brochures, or any other SUVCW. Okay, I have also guests. I call upon Sister Susan Burke for any comments she may have. Guide, will you please escort Sister Susan? Be seated.
Good morning. I'm Susan Burke. I am the patriotic instructor, and on behalf of Picacho Peak 1 Auxiliary to Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, it is with great pleasure that I extend a heartfelt greeting as you gather for your annual encampment. The primary purpose of the auxiliary is to support the Sons of Union Veterans in their mission to honor and preserve the memory of those who served in the Union forces during the Civil War. The members of the auxiliary, often descendants of Union veterans, work tirelessly to carry on the legacy of their forebears by engaging in educational programs, community outreach, and commemorative events. The collaboration between our organizations brings a great sense of pride. Together, we stand as stewards of history, committed to fostering an appreciation for the struggles and triumphs of our ancestors. It is a testament to the enduring strength of our shared values that we work hand in hand to promote awareness, education, and the preservation of historical artifacts. As we meet today, may our time together be filled with rewarding discussions, shared insights, and the joy that comes from working collaboratively towards a common goal. May we all experience the satisfaction that comes from knowing that our joint endeavors make a meaningful difference.
Guide, please escort Sister Susan back to her chair. Go ahead. Okay, so another administrative comment. We will endeavor to complete the encampment by 12:30, followed by lunch at 1. I think we might even have a break because we're ahead of schedule. I think we're moving along pretty quickly here. So going along. After lunch, we will announce the results of the silent auction with proceeds going to the DSW Treasury. Also, after lunch, the new DSW Council will meet and elect a chairman and secretary. Other department officers will need to sign reports and forms. I call upon Secretary Enlow for the roll call of officers as reported.
Department of the Southwest, elected officers 2324, Ken Hooker, Commander.
Present.
Senior Vice Commander Timothy Prater. Department Junior Vice Commander Todd Hoppe.
Present.
Department Counsel Mark Haynes. He's present by his phone. Department Counsel Scott Martirano.
Here.
Department Counsel Dr. Robert McCord.
Here.
Department Secretary Treasurer Dale Enlow. I'm here. Assistant Secretary Treasurer Tim Prater is here. Department Patriotic Instructor James Heller.
Present.
Department Chaplain Mark Haynes.
Here.
He's here by Zoom. Department Graves Registration Officer Avery Franz.
Here.
Is he here?
On Zoom.
I'm here.
Okay, I hear you.
Welcome, Brother Avery.
Department Historian Dale Enlow, I am here. Department Memorials Officer John Horton.
Present.
Eagle Scout Coordinator Tim Prater is here. Department Counselor William Smith.
Here.
GAR Records Officer David Swanson.
Here.
Signals Officer Jeffrey Burgess.
Here.
Department Guide Dan Huskisson is not here. Allied Orders Relations John Conrad.
Here.
And Department Color Bearer William Smith.
Here.
Commander, the roll is called.
Thank you, Secretary Enlow. Okay, we have appointment of committee on credentials. I've appointed the committee on credentials composed of Secretary Dale Enlow, and do you have a committee member?
John Lyons.
John Lynch. Beautiful.
And it'll take me a few moments to calculate numbers here.
Okay,
So if you can move on with anything.
I'll move on to other things. You mentioned the legal notice. Oh, I want to give thanks to the Hassayampa Inn staff for providing this room, help decorating the tables, and for serving the meals and dessert later on today. Amor is the director of catering and events, Jennifer, catering specialist, and the Grant Camp have enjoyed an excellent relationship over the past 3 years. Also, Natasha was helping us this morning, doing a really good job. Really appreciate your efforts. I will say that since checking in last night, it's been a really good experience. I've never been to Prescott before, and I felt very welcomed. They served me coffee this morning. I had a little chat about the Civil War group and how much they enjoy having us here. So that was very nice. Much appreciated. Make additional comments until Dale finalizes his report. I want to also thank. I also want to thank Brother Tim Prater for putting this together and for really just doing such a great job. Since we decided to have him in Prescott, and I don't live in Prescott, 2 hours away, he really took it upon himself. And he enlisted the help of Commander Stevens as well to assist. And between the two of you guys, I mean, this is an outstanding attendance, and I think this is by far going really well. So thank you, brothers. He's conferring. So let's go. I have appointment of committees, which currently we have no active appointing committees. We have had one committee that was appointed, well, two if you count the planning committee for this event, which actually was really helpful. I think that was part of Tim's idea to do that. And he did an excellent job in putting this script together, so I don't have to memorize things. Now we look at still tallying, right? Still counting. Yeah, I should have put more stuff in it.
Okay, I think I've got final numbers, but I don't. I have the number for delegates, and these include the automatically eligible delegates. Picacho Peak Camp number 1 has 8 delegates present. General Robert H.G. Minty Camp number 2 has 4 present, and General U.S. Grant Camp number 3 has 10 delegates present, for a total of 22 delegates. Commander, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Secretary. You might want to continue standing. I have reports from the officers. Roll call for members as reported. Just did brothers in good standing present. You don't have that yet, you said?
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay, so we have a quorum, so we'll proceed.
Right.
Okay. We will now receive reports from Department of Southwest officers. You want to give yours first since you're already here?
I can. Secretary Treasurer and also historian. As of the 29th of February, in our department checking, we have $4,820.72. Our Memorial General Donation Fund, we have $3,072 for a total assets of $7,892.72. Also, as of February 29th, the Department of Southwest has 111 brothers. We have 12 life members, 0 junior members, and 3 associate members, for a total in good standing of 118 department members. In 2023, we gained 12 new brother members. We lost 3 brother members. We lost 3 to deceased, and we had 9 discharged, both honorable and general. So we gained 12 and we lost 12. The standing for the camps, PPC 1, I have 57 total members and 56 primary members. Minty Camp, I have 22 total members, 17 primary members. And Grant Camp comes in with 39 total members and 35 primary members. That's my report, Commander.
Thank you, Secretary Enlow. Senior Vice Commander, do you have a report?
No reports.
Nothing to report. Junior Vice Commander Hafe, would you like to give your report?
Keep this very short. So a lot of the stuff Brother Dale has already said that I was gonna say. The junior vice commander's main responsibility is recruitment and maintaining of the brotherhood. So just a couple thoughts. We've tried to increase our social media presence. Picacho Peak Camp now has our own Facebook page for the public. We also have a Facebook page just for the members of our camp, so we can share things that we're doing, personal things. If we go see a historical site or something like that, that we don't necessarily want to share with the public, but we want to share amongst the brothers, just to generate some interest and keep in touch with our other camp groupers are doing. Brother Jeff can talk about some of the improvements he's made to our media efforts as far as the website and our emails. Some of the things that we've done to generate interest in the order, Boy Scout ceremonies. I attended an Eagle Scout ceremony a couple weeks ago. Brother Prater is he's the Eagle Scout coordinator for the department. So we present a certificate to Eagle Scouts who are achieving the rank. They have what's called the Court of Honor, and we present them with a certificate from our order, which generates a lot of interest. It's the last one I went to, there were about as many people as there are here right now to honor this young man. And we were allowed to get up and give a few words to talk about what we do and present him with a certificate. So that's a good way to get our face out there. We do the same thing with ROTC. Our ROTC coordinator, I think, did something like 21 ceremonies last year where they actually present a medal to junior ROTC graduates and high schools. So that's another way we generate interest. We have a brother who joined our order this year who took it upon himself to put together a little public display on doing genealogy and specifically looking into Civil War ancestry. He's not here today, but he went to a library and put on a public display, which generated some interest. We've actually gotten some interest from that. We participated in the Parada del Sol with our sisters and the daughters. That was a lot of fun. We've received a lot of traffic. I think Brother Jeff can talk about this a little more. We received traffic after that. We had a great time. Marched through Scottsdale. We had a little blurb written up about the order, and every so often they would read out and the crowd stood up, they applauded, they saluted us, so that generated some good interest. So generally, the more we can get there and interact with the public, the more interest we can generate for our order and hopefully generate some new brothers. One other thing is we also have business cards. I don't know if all the camps have done this, but we have business cards. We usually try to keep a couple with us that have the email address and the information for the SUBCW on there. And there's some of them right here. So if you happen to, we were doing happy hours too, just as a camp thing, just to socialize. But when they see Brother Ken with his hat on, they come up and ask, and we have a card to give them. So that's all I have to say. Just the more we can get out there in the public and allow people to see who we are and generate interest, people will be attracted to it.
Thank you, JVC Hafe. On that, so his brother Booth is our camp JVC. And I've spoken to the other camp JVCs, and he would be interested to share some of the techniques, some of the things that he's doing out in the community to try and drum up interest. He's an interesting presenter, and he gets, he really gets into it. It's really he has a lot of props, and he comes dressed to the hilt, and it's a really good way to spread the word. As you might have heard, we added 12 brothers, which is exciting, but we lost 12, and some of those are deceased, and rest in peace, but some have left other things. So if we don't grow at a better rate, we're not going to exist forever, right? So it's a challenge. Secretary Enlow gave his report. Council of Administration, Brothers McCord, Haynes, or Martirano, anything to report? No report. Take silence as a no, and then Brother Scott speaking for the group. Patriotic Instructor.
No report, Commander.
Chaplain Haynes via Zoom. Anything to report?
Nothing to report in particular. I do apologize for my being the prodigal son. I guess as a as a chaplain, I can be the prodigal. Had some heart issues, and I'm doing fine. But I do appreciate the order. I love you guys, and if there's anything I can do for you of a spiritual nature to be a help, please feel free to contact me. That is not an inconvenience. It's part of my duty, and I enjoy doing that. So thank you. Love you guys, and look forward to seeing you in person next time.
Thank you, Chaplain. Well wishes go your way from all of us. Okay. Avery France, Graves Registration Officer. Anything to report? It's still on. It might have dropped.
He did send a written report.
He sent a written report. Okay, as written. Historian report.
Nothing other than every Form 3 membership application and lineage information that comes across my desk, I scan it, print a hard copy, put a hard copy in an archive 3-ring binder, and keep a copy on my little hard drive here. I think over the past year, I've scanned over 180 some documents in the past year and archived them, and trying to keep up with the genealogy stuff for members. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll try to help out. We're trying to keep a historical document for the department, even though we are a very new department. We're trying to keep our history together. Thank you.
Thank you. David Swanson, GAR Records Officer. Any report?
Yes, Commander.
Okay. Podium is yours.
Enjoyable go. Simon, enjoy the go. Are you thinking of buying a stairlift? This essential free guide will answer.
This is going to be really short. I just recently completed my history on the history of the Department of New Mexico, Grand Army of the Republic. And I want to let you know it's on the department website, and it's at the New Mexico State Records Archives of Santa Fe. And it was a lot of fun doing that. My wife, Jan, and I spent quite a bit of time at the archives in Santa Fe, compiling the information. And I just want to encourage the camps, each camp with the, to conduct their own research, because there's a lot of GAR history in the various state archives and so forth in the state of Arizona. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Officer Swanson. Allied Relations Officer, Allied Orders Relations Officer Conrad. Report.
Very briefly, yes, it's really easy to fill my job description since I just volunteered for it. I have my job description. But basically, what I try to do is just making sure that if there's anything going on with the brothers, that the sisters know about it, and vice versa. So all I am is trying to exchange information. But that being said, you're gonna hear a lot about this. But with the national convention coming up in July and August here, for the very first time, it is an incredible honor to have a detached tent, the only time, right?
Yeah.
That a detached tent that's not associated with the department of the daughters to be able to host the national convention. What's really important is we need help. On Wednesday evening, the 31st, is the opening ceremony. We need escorts. Okay? And if we can get 30 brothers to show up and act as escorts, let me know, let Sister Verna know, but we need people there. And also on Saturday evening, if you get your reservations in early enough, there's a banquet. And I'm sure they'd like to see us there. But Wednesday evening is really, really important. Brothers in the Valley particularly, please come up and volunteer, send me your name, and I'll put shackles on you, so make sure you get there. Thank you.
Thank you.
And John is giving the program on Saturday night, and David's giving the program on Thursday.
I am.
So be there. Yeah, so be there.
Supposed to wait till the night before. So.
Do we have commitment from National, from the Suns?
Yes.
We do.
The only thing I don't have is how much money you're gonna give us. This is also the first time that we have on the program that the sons and daughters are hosting the opening night ceremonies.
Very nice. Good. Reminds me of the parade when we did the parade. It was written out very nice for the sons, and our brother Mike Booth is not here, but his daughter was there taking pictures. She's like a photographer. Anyway, so the first two, they read out the Sons of Union Veterans, blah, 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 blah. And then she just takes it upon herself to run ahead to each station to alter the script to make it say sons and daughters. And it was really cool because I feel like, you know, they might know sons, they probably don't, but they might know sons, but daughters too. I thought it was a moment of unity.
And we are the only department that has a fraternal relations show. So that's pretty special too.
I think we've gotten better. I think we can still do more because it's so easy to fall into a trap of just, you know, I think we've gotten a lot better. I think that is because we do have that relationship, but we can always do a little bit more. I think the national meeting is going to help out. And if there's anything you need, please reach out to me or any of us. Okay. Timothy Prater, Eagle Scout Coordinator Report.
I just gotta take this all in. It's just a beautiful gathering, and I'm just thankful that all of you were able to make it. Yes. This last 7 months, I was appointed to fill in the position of Eagle Scout Coordinator. And it's probably the best 6 months that I've had as an adult. I have learned so much from these young people. And it's really been a tough journey. I'm learning more about it. I know that we need to start more at the grassroots level as opposed to a higher level in getting the cooperation of the Eagle Scout community. But they are very open once they understand who we are and what our motives are. I'd like to say last year, we had 2 Eagle Scout presentations. And Rick, correct me if I'm wrong, but this year we had, I think, 21.
Our camp alone had 15.
We had 15 in the other camp, so about 18 total. So we had an increase of about 700% participation with Eagle Scouts, and that's special. But what we're trying to do also here in Prescott with Grant Camp is to invite the Eagle Scouts to join us at the Citizen Cemetery the day before Memorial Day and try to get a bond, a relationship with the Eagle Scouts. At the same time, we invite the JROTC and the ROTC, and we're just trying to create a community, not just a bunch of organizations, but all of us working together. So I'll just say I have totally enjoyed being the Eagle Scout coordinator. As I told the commander, I would gladly do it for another year, and then maybe not.
Double your pay. Double your pay.
Thank you.
That's standing. Sure.
I just want to make another comment. Lee Nelson was going to be here with her husband Jack. And Jack has fell ill. He's been hospitalized. I think he's home, but they're just not able to respond to this meal. But what I was thinking, Verna, is would it be possible to present her award at your national convention?
Sure, we can do that.
I think-
You want to do it at one of your next camp meeting.
Or,
I'll try and make it up.
okay, anyway, we'll figure out what we can do.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you that Lee Nelson is one of the most incredible people that I have met. And whether you know it or not, somehow she has touched your organization, whether it's attending Picasso Peak, bringing cake down, just inviting herself in, saying, you know, this male organization needs a good woman in here. There's a number of women, a couple of them came in and really made it a very
Sandwiches and cake. Well, I totally expected. And a drawing. It was Christmas time. A drawing for Christmas gifts. It was really well, that was enough for me. You know, feed me and give me gifts. But I understand she's done a lot for the Order and Jab, and that's outstanding. Our best wishes to her husband, her family activities.
Yeah, I'll certainly pass that on.
Civil War Memorials Officer John Horton. Brother Horton, please have a report for this Memorials Officer. He promises to keep it short.
Jim.
That's Commander
Lee is here.
Commander Hooker, ladies and gentlemen of various associated organizations attending this meeting and members of this group. Your importance to the success of the department's memorials officer position is ultimate. As you learn what's going on in your community, we at the department level can make this organization even more exciting to be part of. And especially each camp and their memorials officers, contacting them and then they to the department level is such an exciting thing. Past Commander Paquette, this is an exciting organization to be a member of. You should be here every meeting, but we will excuse you today. And I thank you for your time. I have a report later in the meeting that I want to present as well. But each one of us plays a critical role in getting this organization even more involved with what's going on. We are so happy to have so many of you here.
Do you want to give a report for the Are you prepared? Sure. So, Brother Horton is also the one committee I'm committee, and I appointed a committee to research and determine, last union's, soldier in the county, and there is a dispute somewhat of someone that, we were not sure was deserving of membership in the SUBCW, and therefore as last union member, last union soldier in the Civil War. And I appointed a committee of 3. It was Dennis Lamb who was left the order. It was Robert Irwin, rest in peace, and it was Brother Horton. So Brother Horton can give a brief report on what the findings were.
I have to follow his direction. Brief.
Right.
Anything to my wife, it will be even brief. She will be here for lunch. You can get to me over then. Again, past Commander Paquette, Commander Booker Department. It was an honor to be representing the U.S. General Grant Camp Number 3 on this committee of 3 people, and I am certainly the junior. Robert Irwin, Dennis Lamb. These are names of people who have been involved in this group for a long time and are outstanding people. We are so blessed as a department to have such people. As I tell you, and I will tell anyone, I love this organization because it follows parliamentary procedure. Past Commander Paquette, you probably had something to do with getting that fellow at the national meeting to become a certified parliamentarian. I love that fellow. This meeting today is an example. We follow a form. To be a member of this organization, you have to be a descendant of a Civil War Union soldier or a brother of that type of person. There are rules to be members of this group. The message we all received this week, or if you didn't, I'm sorry, I'll show it to you. About 8 years at the national level where it got a little cloudy what membership was. They corrected it. This group follows rules. That's all the committee had to do. All we had to figure out was whether, let's get the right name, the current member of the outstanding 99-year-old fellow who was Parker Lewis Gordon, the longest surviving Union soldier in the state of Arizona. All we had to figure out was whether there was anybody else who had outlived him. Number 2 guy was 3 years older and had died just a few months earlier than December of 1946. We followed the rules. It was a pleasure to be with Brother Irwin and Brother Lamb. It was an honor. And we made our report. If you want to see the report, it's here. I can show it to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
He got an applause for being brief.
You talk about brief brevity, so for on and on and on and on, it's kind of ironic. Okay, well, thanks for that. Councilor Smith, anything to report?
No report.
No. Signals Officer Burgess has a report and he will give it. Officer Burgess, the podium is yours.
Thank you. So if any of you are wondering what the signals officer does these days, they maintain the department's website. So that's what I spend most of the time on. Brother Swanson reminded me of something that I failed to put in my written report to you. And because he is a big contributor to the website, there's GAR research, which is out there. Very important stuff that it's totally unique. You should read his stuff. Well, this past year, I was in contact with the Arizona State Library And they have a website called the Arizona Memory Project. Now, the Arizona State Library, I think it's part of the Secretary of State's office, is the official repository of all state records, things that happen in Arizona. And so I sent them our newsletters going all the way back to their PDF files. Going all the way back to late 90s. And also the GAR research, and it's on there. So we have our own page on the state library's website, which is called the Arizona Memory Project, that has all the historical records up through at least the beginning of last year. I haven't sent them the most recent, but that's on there now. I forgot to put that in. Sorry about that. So back to the website. The website is pretty important. I'll tell you a quick anecdote because Brother Hathai mentioned that after they did the Corrado del Sol parade that our traffic shot up, and it did, up to like several hundreds, like 700-800 a day. It's like, wow, that was really a productive thing. Then I looked into it closer, and what had happened was somebody in Eastern Europe had hacked into GoDaddy. GoDaddy is our hosting company. We'll get to that. And so I started looking at it, I go, these files have been modified. So I called GoDaddy Help, and they said, oh no, you must have done it. It's like, no. So a couple days later, everything started working properly again. And I saw where GoDaddy had gone through and updated all of the WordPress site scripts to delete all of the stuff the hackers had stuck in there. Because what was happening was traffic to websites was getting hijacked and it was going to, it was redirecting people to pages that they were trying to sell stuff. And almost all this traffic was from Poland and Czechoslovakia, Belarus. So I was like, okay, I don't think there's too many Indian soldiers over there. So I just wanted to tell you that story. Anyway, GoDaddy, we're not really happy with them. It's a very big company. They don't specialize in WordPress. Our site is a WordPress site. That's an application that allows people who don't have extensive programming skills to manage the site. So most nonprofits use it. That's we're using it too. And in the middle of the year, our contact form on our website, which is where lately we've been getting most of our inquiries for new members, quit working. Anyway, so I got a hold of GoDaddy, and they said that's because they divested all email traffic from their web servers. And if we wanted our contact form to work, we had to buy an email account, but it's not an email account with them, it's a Microsoft Outlook email account. So now we had two accounts, paying for two accounts. So I found a new one, and it's all in here, but the bottom line is we're going to go to a place called Bluehost, which specializes in WordPress sites, specializes in servicing them and everything, plus they're cheaper, plus they integrate the email into the site. So what we're going to have, and I don't know what the process is, we're getting the approval to do this. Maybe we're going to go ahead and say it here.
Would you like to make a motion that we change providers?
Yeah,
We can do that on
new business. Okay, so the bottom line is it's going to be cheaper and easier and probably better customer service because all they do is WordPress. And they're one of the top 3 WordPress hosting companies in the nation. So I just wanted to let you know that we're going to change that up and put in a plug and say, sure would be nice if someone else wanted to start learning how the website is maintained. Because we have to have succession, basically, you know, because right now, I don't know who will log in there and figure out what to do. But once we get it moved over, it'll be way easier, it'll be one control. So there's oh, I think I almost forgot. I noticed that yesterday afternoon, somebody sent an email from the website that wants to join RHG Minty Camp. Yes, sorry, I'll give it. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. What percentage of,
Traffic. I forgot to mention traffic.
okay,
The real average traffic is about 5 to 10 people a day. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but 5 times 30 in a month, that's 150 people are looking at it. 10, there's 300 people a month are looking at it. So that's pretty good outreach, really.
mm-hmm.
And
What would you say, the percentage of people that become members, did so via the website.
I think it's probably 90%.
Yeah.
That's what years.
I mean, we're doing more things in the community that'll help us, but I think if the parade, what are they gonna do? They're gonna come on the website, right? Sure, yeah. Question for PCC, Paquette, do you have any information on what national, as far as the website, who hosts them? I don't know if you're speaking on mute. Maybe you have to unmute.
Yeah, I gotta find the unmute button here. No, we ended up changing our hosting site in the last year. Off the top of my head, I don't recall who's hosting it. The company that is doing our web development had recommended the recommended the host location. I think previously we found out that some of our information was hosted overseas, might have been China. So from a security standpoint, we've been trying to tighten things up because we do a lot of business through our website, all of our forms, information about upcoming events, general orders, yada, yada, yada. So we want brothers to be able to access the site and know that they're not going to get malware or other bad things happen just because they're visiting to our site. I can follow up and get a name of a company, but it's not GoDaddy. And I should remember the company we're going with for our development. It'll probably come to me at some point, and I'll let you all know. But it's that, when I was commander in chief and council administration voted on it, we were a WordPress site, but I asked the National Signals Officer to do a comparison on what some of the other national organizations were doing, SAR, DAR, Sons of Confederate Veterans, and we wanted to make sure that we were on a par with those other organizations nationally. And that was the impetus behind the change. But I will double check and see if I can find out where we're hosting.
Thank you, Commander. My compliments to the quartermaster site. The new quartermaster site is outstanding. I don't know if you agree, Deb. Yeah, they do a great job.
Bobby Welsh is somebody to watch. He's a real firebrand, and he's just a very dynamic brother. He's very active in the American Legion. I think he's the state level in Illinois. And he is moving us forward as far as using technology to our benefit. So I will pass that on to him, but I totally concur with your assessment.
I bought some stuff for myself, like not even just official stuff. I'm like, I gotta have some stickers for my beer fridge. Yeah. It's really outstanding. Thank you, Commander. What else do we have? The report is given. Nothing to report. Just color bearer Smith. Anything to report? Nothing to report. Nothing to. Thank you. Dan Huskisson, our guide, is not here. Our appointed guide for today, I don't think is prepared to report. Nothing to report. Thank you, brother. Thanks for stepping in. We appreciate it. Camp Commander's reports. We now proceed to Camp Commander reports. And we will start with Commander of PPC 1, Todd Haffey. And we will go next to Commander Swanson from Minty and wrap up with Commander Stevens from Great Camp. Commander Haffey. Make it brief. No, that's good. In order to make it brief. It's not an order.
Suggestion. It's an order. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you a little rundown of some of the things we did as a camp that you might find interesting. So we finally found a place to have our meetings. We had been going place to place to place. We had a difficult time finding a place that met our needs. So we're now meeting at the Scottsdale Library. We have a nice room. It's not perfect, but it's a nice clean room with a big TV screen. We can do AV presentations, which I enjoy doing. And I think the brothers enjoy watching them, so that's the thing that we've been doing.
Outstanding.
Let's see, we had some of our presentations over the year, I'll go over, but we had a presentation by Brother Conrad discussing the history of Civil War pensions and how they went about getting them. We have two brothers that are involved in the Pioneer Cemetery in Phoenix, Brother Cox and Brother Jackson. They were instrumental in getting a bench placed in the cemetery, and we want to do at some point a proper dedication ceremony. So that cemetery, it's burials, it's the Lost Dutchman's buried there. There's a lot of interesting characters buried in that cemetery. I would encourage anybody to go visit. I went to visit the Grant Cottage in New York, which is the final home of General Ulysses Grant. He finished his memoirs and passed away on that property. I was able to visit there, take a bunch of pictures last year, so I presented a slideshow on that for the camp. Which daughters then invited me to come to their meeting and present, and that was enjoyable. We've done a lot of encouraging of supplemental ancestors in the past year. So the supplemental ancestor fever has hit the camps. We have a lot of guys. So you all know when you join, you pick an ancestor, you can also have your supplemental ancestors recognized. So we have a lot of that going on at the camp now, which generates a lot of interest. A lot of guys are interested. It gives you an excuse to research more of your ancestors and present them to the camp.
Brother Booth, how many did you say? 11?
Yeah, so we have a new brother this year, Brother Mike Booth, who's not here. He has something like 11.
He has 11 already and more, and like
on the way.
Process. The secretaries are shaking.
We had talked, Brother Lamb last year presented a proposal that we'd be allowed to wear an oak leaf cluster on the membership badge to denote supplemental ancestors, which is against the regulations at the current time. No other organizations do that. The Sons of the American Revolution does that. Daughters do that. So they have something on their membership badge that denotes other ancestors beside the primary ancestor. So Brother Lamb wrote up a proposal, and that did not make it on the docket last year at the National Encampment. So I don't know, are we gonna try to do that again?
Actually, I was gonna ask PCNC Paquette for an opinion on the matter in person, but he couldn't make it in person. I think Brother Horton was at the National Encampment, and through some informal conversations, I think there was a reluctance to put items on the badge itself. So I guess I would put it out there to see how much interest there is. I don't want to board a sinking ship.
Yeah.
So there's there is a section in the CNR that says what you can and can't do to the membership badge. So I would encourage you to peruse the CNR and make sure that you're staying within the guidelines presented there. Otherwise, you'd have to request a change to the CNR to get something different. I do know that some departments have a department logo that can go in there, but specifically the devices that can be attached to the ribbon itself are defined in the CNR.
And it's my understanding that in the past, someone mentioned, I think, a missing in action or killed in action addition to, if your ancestor had been killed in action, someone wanted to change the CNR to have a special designation on the badge, and it was voted down this is in the past. So our request would be, if we decide to proceed, to change the CNR to allow that recognition of an oak leaf cluster for supplemental ancestors, rather than above the badge on the ribbon itself.
Yeah, that's what Brother Lamb's proposal was, to change the rules to allow for that. That's not something that we're doing on our own.
What I would do is review that proposal with the incoming commander, department commander, and we can decide if that's something we want to put forth on the national, on the agenda. It has to be in the 60 days prior, I believe, a written proposal. We did last year's department encampment down, didn't we?
We did authorize wearing the oak leaf cluster, but not on.
Not on the badge, correct. So it would be a change, it would be a proposal to change the scene. I will work with incoming commander to review that proposal for possible action.
So one suggestion I had to allow for them, so basically for every supplemental ancestry, you would get a little oak leaf cluster like the military awards you for. You get an award in the military and then you get it a second time, you get a little oak leaf cluster throughout the ribbon. So in 1907, Congress authorized a medal for Civil War veterans. And it's an actual medal with Abraham Lincoln's face on it. There's also a ribbon associated with it. It's just like you've seen a military ribbon. It's blue on one side and green on the other side. So one of the things that we had suggested at the camp was if you want to wear your ancillary or supplementary ancestors oak leaf cluster, it could be placed on that ribbon and you could put the ribbon on the jacket if you chose to do that. So that was one thing we had, one suggestion we had. That wouldn't violate the rules as far as that. Okay. Last year we participated in the massing of the color ceremony. I was talking to some brothers yesterday about that. That's a ceremony put on by the Military Order of the World Wars. They have this ceremony once a year at the Palm Ridge Recreation Center. Chaplain Heller was instrumental in getting us involved in that. That's a wonderful ceremony where they have people from different patriotic and military organizations bring their flags. So this year we had 2 of our members carry the department flag, and we had the camp flag carried. We march in, the flags all get posted in front of the stage. They have a band play all the songs from the different branches of the military. Anybody who's present from that branch stands while their song is played. They present a ceremony for people who have died in the service of our country. They had a speaker who was a woman who is currently a professor in, that's this year's ceremony, right? Well, this year they had this woman, she's very impressive. She was a nurse, 19 years old in Vietnam. She got into this program that the Army started in Vietnam where they took women, young women who were trained as nurses to be placed on a helicopter. They also wanted them to be able to fly the helicopters. So they got taught to fly helicopters. So she was a registered nurse and a pilot, at like 19, 20 years old. So she had a wonderful story. She eventually got involved in working in the medical profession in Sudan for a few years and was awarded the Medal of Honor from the King of Sudan. So she was an impressive woman. But they have the ceremony once a year. We participated in that last year and this year. We participated in 21 ROTC presentations this past year. We presented our new brother Scott Martirano with a War Service Medal, one of our meetings. Some of the stuff we've already gone over here today. Brother Burgess also did a presentation on the Confederate raid of Vermont. So some of you might not know there was a Confederate raid in the state of Vermont.
St. Albans.
St. Albans, for the farthest northern military action in the war, I believe. We participated in Memorial Day service also at the Pioneer and Military Memorial Cemetery. Commander Hooker, myself, Dave Camp, Dan Huskinson, David Jackson, Bob Cox were involved in the cemetery. In August, we have our annual dual meeting with the daughters. So we basically combine our meetings into one meeting, and that's something we always look forward to. Okay, Brother Burgess already mentioned that our newsletters are now deemed historically significant and are placed in the Arizona Memory Project. Our brother David Camp was recognized by the local Civil War Council for 50 years in involvement in Civil War reenactment. So he had a plaque to show us. That's interesting. We created a Facebook page for our camp. Created a Facebook page just for the brothers so we can see what we're doing. Verna already mentioned that she is now the president of the daughters, and we'll be having the convention. So we're looking forward to participating in that with her and her sisters this summer. We made a contribution to the Missing America Project website. Brother Jeff talked about. So we have been in the past doing the Pearl Harbor ceremony in downtown Phoenix this year. We did not do it last year. Apparently they had a very bad experience. So this is something that the Margaret Wood tent usually takes the lead in. This year they didn't want to participate because of the way it was run last year. So we've heard good things about that. This year, maybe they've got some new leadership. So probably going to participate in that next year.
Well, the new commander of the Sons and his wife are going to be here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that was I've done that in the past. That's a beautiful ceremony too, down at Wesley Bowling Plaza. You know, they have one of the guns from the battleship Arizona there. Last time I was there, they flew in, I don't know, what was it, like 4 of the last surviving crew from the USS Arizona. So we were reluctant not to go this year, but because of the way they had run it last year, it didn't seem worthwhile, but we'll probably do that again in the future. We have a Civil War veteran buried in the Tempe Double Butte Cemetery that was brought to our attention. He has just recently, thanks to the efforts of some of our brothers here, Brother Avery, has a gravestone. We have not yet done a ceremony for the dedication of that, which is something we want to do in the near future. Some of us were at the annual dinner party for the Berry and Goldwater chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution. I know we have a lot of brothers here who are also Sons of the American Revolution, so that was a lot of fun. The chapter, is it chapter president? Mark Seifert, he's looking into joining our camp, and I'm looking into joining his organization. So let's see. We purchased the Fold 3 account for our camp. So Fold 3 is one of the better genealogical online organizations that you can use to research records for Civil War descendants. So that's been very helpful in processing new members, verifying their records, helping them to determine what their genealogy is. And that's about all I have for now. That's it.
Thank you, Commander. Thank you. Commander Swanson. Commander Swanson is the, again, camp commander. I got a lot of letters after you. David,
The final box.
Yeah.
All 3 camps.
David stepped in to take camp commander. We didn't have somebody ready to go, and so we thank him for that.
Well, first of all, as been pointed out, I was installed as the camp commander for the General RHG Minty camp in January. And so I thank past camp commander Mark Clark and current camp secretary treasurer John Lyons for their great work in completing the annual report. All 2023 camp meetings took place in hybrid formats to allow out-of-town brothers to join virtually. The April 15th meeting was held in the field, and Mark Clark did a great job doing that. This included a Civil War site tour in the Rio Rico and Tubac area of southern Arizona. The tour was conducted by Ranger Rick Collins, the National Park Service, and I attended this meeting, and it was very well done. These guys did a great job. The camp restarted its JROTC program, and medals were presented to 3 area high schools. Flags and cigars, a novel recruitment effort. In a novel recruitment effort, the camp bought some stick flags from Anthony's Cigar Emporium in Tucson on Flag Day in 2023. If anybody bought a cigar, they got a flag from the SUVCW. And I wouldn't doubt if our Secretary Treasurer John Lyons wasn't behind that. In fact, now I'm sure he was. And speaking of him, by year's end in 2023, John distributed, I think, about 13 SUVCW flag certificates in the Tucson area. Good job, John. During Memorial Day, the camp posted flags on all the graves in the GAR plot and those of other veterans and other sections at the Evergreen Cemetery, Tucson. Prior to the posting, a brief ceremonial from our ritual was conducted. Camp Brothers also marched in the Memorial Day parade held at Tucson Estates. This was the 50th anniversary of that parade. And that's about it. I just want to thank all the brothers from the Minty camp who are here today in person and on Zoom. And I especially want to thank a very new brother, Bill Blissett, and his wife, Chantel, who are here today. And thank you. Now we're going to have a very active member. Bill. Yes, sir. I think that's it. Say that again. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commander Swanson, PDC Swanson, everything Swanson. Commander Stevens, would you like to give your report for U.S. Grant Camp? Number 3. Number 1 in arms.
Always a bright way to right. Well, first of all, welcome to Prescott. We're happy to be the sponsor in camp this year for the annual Department of Southwest Encampment, and we're just pleased that everybody came up. It's a great turnout. We got a great venue here. We hold 2 meetings a year here in Prescott, and the other 2 we hold up in Flagstaff. Technically, we're based out of Flagstaff, but a lot of our brothers live here, so it's a lot easier for us to meet locally. And a little bit lower in altitude for those of us that are a little bit susceptible to that. Grant Camp has had a pretty busy year. Besides all the Eagle Scout stuff that Brother Critter talked about, we were very busy in that. Definitely with the ROTC and the JROT presentations that we do between the high schools and Emory Riddle, we're kept pretty busy with that. We have a number of our brothers spread out going to those, and it's just been a real pleasure to do that and see these young folks come up, and it gives us encouragement that there are some young folks that care, and I think that's the big thing. We last year we started a scholarship fund, and we didn't present anything last year. We didn't have any applications, but this year I think we do. And so we're going to be giving a $1,000 scholarship to high school or JROTC. Hopefully, in the next month or two. We were very busy in Memorial Decoration Day at a few different cemeteries. One here at Citizen Cemetery, which we're planning on a short tour on today. We're at National Cemetery here in Prescott, reading the Gettysburg Address at both Citizens and National, and up at Camp Navajo. We did Gettysburg Address there as well. So we're spread out. We take care of Decoration Day. We had some great ceremonies this year, and I was just honored to hold them. One was for GAR marker placements at Citizen Cemetery in Flagstaff, which is right by the NAU campus. There are 8 of our fallen ancestors that were presented with the GAR markers. We had a ceremony, we had a color guard, we had rifle shots and taps played for each of these gentlemen. And it was a very nice ceremony. I wish more would have showed up, but you know what? That's okay. Our hearts are in the right place, and we did very fine by them. We also had another ceremony. We went up to Williams, Arizona. Those who don't know where Williams is, it's up by Flagstaff, so you're still up in elevation a little bit there. They have an annual parade that is in honor of 9/11, if you will. And it's supposed to be a beautiful, hot, sunny day, and so we showed up and it poured. One cloud in the sky, and it just dumped on us, and all of us got wet except for Vernon, who was smart enough to get into the truck and in a vehicle that was leading us. And the rest of us, well, thank God we got cotton shirts on because it dried real fast. But we had a good time in that parade, and this is the second time that we had marched in that one. We had a better turnout than last year. Last year we had 3. This year we had about 7 or 8 of us, and we got a shower. That's okay.
It was our first Grant Camp wet T-shirt.
I wasn't going to put it that way, but it's okay. But the Williams is in Coconina County, and Coconina County, which is Flagstaff as well. On the same day that we were up there, we honored the last buried Union soldier of Coconina County, the cemetery right in Williams there. We had a lovely ceremony. We actually did it twice. We had a warm up because we didn't know, we had invited family. Brother Avery had found descendants of the soldier. And that's not easy to do, to find life people. It's easy to find the ones that are back, but it's hard to go forward. I don't know how he does it, but he did it. And the great granddaughter and her son were contacted, and she was 5 years old when he died, so she remembered him. And that was just the coolest thing. We all had goosebumps, and it was just a very nice thing that we did for them. They were honored. She had never seen a picture of him, so we had pictures of what he looked like, just like this, and his past. And she had some stories that were passed down in the family that were pretty humorous. But she remembered him as being very tall and quiet, and she has an older sister still alive. Now she's 90, and her sister was 93. He had big feet. That's okay. When you're 5 and 8 year old, everybody's taller, and that's cool. So we had started the service at 2:00 sharp. We didn't know if they were going to be able to make it up or not for health reasons or for whatever. So we held our 15-minute ceremony, and as we were just about to take down the flags, here comes the car. And we said, "Hold on, guys." And so since we had a great warm up, we did it better the second. So we held the service for there, and they were quite pleased. They were very happy. They were very emotional about it. They made a, believe it or not, later on, they made a donation to our camp, a nice crisp grant bill, which was very nice. And so we plan on continuing the last soldier of the county ceremonies this year. We have one right here in Yavapai County in Prescott. And we'll put out information on that later on. So, and again, thanks to Avery, we have found descendants. And I guess this one coming up has got a little bit of a interesting history with run-ins to Bucky O'Neill when he was sheriff up here, I guess. And so I'm kind of waiting to hear those stories. So that's coming up this year. But anyway, we were a part of Reason Across America, both National Cemetery and Citizen Cemetery locally here. And that was our pleasure and pride to do that. And again, we talked about the Eagle Scouts, and that Commander is all I have. Again, welcome to Prescott. And afterwards, we do have those folks that contacted me. We're gonna visit the Charlotte Hall Museum here, which is the original settlement of Prescott. There's a big history here. And then we're gonna take a look at Citizen Cemetery to show off our plaque that Brother Prater organized a couple years ago. So thank you.
Thank you, Commander. I just want to take and say welcome to Prescott. You know, the grant camp. I would like to thank them for hosting this event, for putting it on, and we grant. I'm a bad Arizona guy. I've been here 25 years and I've never been to Prescott. Today, yesterday, you know, I don't get out much, but it's outstanding event. Really enjoyed it. So, okay, reception and reference of communications. Would you like to take this, Brother Emma?
Yeah, the department has received 2 separate letters in the past year, one from the Department of Rhode Island. Jay Hall and Brother Ben Frail are candidates for national offices of JVCNC and Council of Administration. And they wanted to have the Department of Southwest support. I've got copies of those letters if anybody are interested. It has their resume and all of their accomplishments. And the second letter was from the Department of New Hampshire. Brother Murray is a candidate for National JVCNC. Those are the only 2 correspondents.
Thank you, Secretary. Any other Department of Southwest officers with additional communications? Okay. Next, we have unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business that we should address? Secretary Emma?
Well, hey, okay, kind of embarrassed is Brother Horton talked about the parliamentary procedure. I certainly don't know anything about Robert's Rules of Order, but the last department encampment, we ended up with a motion that was tabled, and I do not know how to get rid of that. If anybody has any suggestion, do we bring it up again and vote?
Yes.
Or is it just done?
Yeah, I think we just restate what we talked about and start over with it.
Okay, so should we do that under unfinished business then?
Sure.
Instead of
Sounds good.
right here.
This
Okay.
is unfinished. We're unfinished.
Okay. So just in summary, and I don't think that I've got it with me, I've probably got it in my file back in the back of the room, the actual motion, but it had to do with the term galvanized Yankees. Apparently there were some Confederate soldiers during the Civil War that for one reason or the other, they ended up being captured and then signed an oath to the Union, and then went ahead and served in the Union Army. And the motion was that these galvanized Yankees should probably be eligible for membership in the SUVCW. In my research and looking through both the Form 3 and the Blue Book, which is our CNRs, apparently anyone who has voluntarily borne arms against the government of the United States is ineligible for membership. So as far as I'm concerned, these galvanized Yankees, whether they took an oath later and then served, would not be eligible for membership.
So clarified by taking up arms, not literally anyone who had served part of the Confederacy in any manner and then chose to switch sides later.
And I believe this was on the person that made the motion was doing this because he was working on a new brother application. And it turns out that his ancestor was captured in a battle as a Confederate, went to a prisoner of war camp, and then as a way to get out of the prisoner of war camp, he signed the oath to the Union and served as a mule skinner afterwards. Well, the motion now should be kind of moot because we were able to find another ancestor of that new brother that did qualify. So it's kind of moot. So,
Out of respect for the brother who brought it up, we thought we should bring it up and dismiss it formally so that we're all in agreement. So I'll make the motion if you, unless you know. The motion is to allow a resolution to be drafted and submitted to the National Encampment of the SUVCW to edit the Article 3, which is eligibility to membership section within the Constitution to allow men to join the SUVCW under dishonorable Confederate soldier that signed the oath of allegiance to the U.S., enlisted with the Union Army, and was discharged honorably from federal service. That is a motion. Second. No seconds? No seconds. No seconds. Motion dismissed. Back out. Okay. We've officially dismissed of the motion. All right. Now, good work. I mean, that is important. Mentioned something.
I believe it would fall under unfinished business because it was a matter that was discussed at last year's encampment. But general order number 2 raises the question of this encampment voting on some membership requirements and reporting that to the 133rd National this year. I don't see it on the agenda.
This is the
lineage documentation.
Yes. So we decided not to put it on the agenda because we had already decided on the matter. But and I understand National has asked us to vote again on the issue, but the issue is the same issue.
I think they asked for a special encampment, right?
Procedurally, it is due to the department. Because what was raised last year, which I raised and asked this department to bring, I wasn't here, sorry, but was to get it before the encampment, the national encampment. That's all it needed. It needed one department to bring it before the national encampment. In fact, the Department of Ohio brought it before because this didn't bring it before the encampment. The encampment has acted on that and has approved it
but it requires ratification. So that's a separate discussion or a separate action than what this department did last year.
Gotcha, to ratify something that we decided we didn't want to accept.
No, so at the national encampment, it was voted on and carried. And it's in general order number 2, as Brother John just identified. Every department, so even though it was voted on and approved at the national encampment, it has to be ratified by a majority of departments. So each department has to vote on whether or not they agree with the language that was adopted at the national encampment. So that's general order 2. I don't know how big the screen is. I could share a copy here from my laptop, or there may be, but every department's required to either for or against the language that's in the general order for the changes to the CNR, and it's an all or none vote. You either accept everything that was proposed or not. And you didn't hold a special encampment to address that, correct?
We did not.
Right. So it's as Brother Conrad has pointed out, this should be as part of your business for this department this department encampment.
Does anybody have the general order?
I have it in front of me.
Well, Brother Conrad, read the general order, please.
I will read the general order.
Do you want to come up?
Yeah, I might as well. Unfortunately, it's not true. This is entitled General Order on Membership Qualifications Ratification. Paragraph 1, the 142nd National Encampment of the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War passed the following change to the SUVCW Constitution, which must be ratified by more than 50% of the departments. And it's actually, I think, 4 recommendations. Recommendation number 1. The Constitution of the Order is hereby amended as follows. Article 3, eligibility and membership, is hereby amended to read as follows. All male descendants, and this is new language, for the purpose of this Constitution and all regulations, orders, and other official acts of the national organization, departments, and camps, male is defined as a person who was biologically male at birth. That's the new language. Continuing with the old language. Whether through lineal or collateral lineages specified in Article 7 of the Constitution, who are blood relatives of soldiers, sailors, Marines, or members of the Revenue Cutter Service who were regularly mustered and served honorably in, were honorably discharged from, or died in the service of the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, or Revenue Cutter Service of the United States of America, or such state regiments as were called into active service and were subject to orders of the United States general officers during the War of the Rebellion between April 12th, 1861 and April 9th, 1865, who have never been convicted of any infamous or heinous crime, and who have, or whose ancestors through whom membership is claimed have, never voluntarily borne arms against the government of the United States of America, shall have eligibility to membership. Okay, that was one. And basically, and I'll get back to it, but I'm gonna comment because I was on the committee that drafted this. Okay. We were asked to define what male means. Okay, and so what this inserts is male is defined as a person who is biologically male at birth. Recommendation 2, the Constitution of the Order is hereby amended as follows. Article 7, Section 2, subsections A and B are hereby amended as follows. I can read the whole thing or I can tell you what it does.
A change in language.
And this has to do with associates and junior associates. And it simply adds the language blood relative. That an associate or a junior associate has to have been has to be claiming through a blood relative. It's the only change. Okay. Recommendation number 3, the Constitution of the Order is hereby amended as follows. Article 7, membership, is hereby amended to add a new section 6 to read as follows. Section 6, a brother who has been duly elected to membership in the order shall not be subsequently disqualified from membership or be discharged from the order solely because of that brother's change in gender or sexual identification. Recommendation 4, the regulations of the order are hereby amended as follows. Chapter 3, Article 10, Junior Associates, Section 2, is hereby amended to read as follows. And this relates to junior associates, and it simply says that a junior associate is one who does not meet the inserted ancestor service qualifications stipulated in the Constitution. And the rest of it is the procedural. All brothers will see that the general order is disseminated. There cannot be any changes made to the items presented, as this is wording accepted by the 142nd National Encampment. It is strictly a for or against ratification.
Do we have to present a motion or do we just vote on what you've read?
Actually, I think my knowledge of Robert's Rules of Order, because this is a direction from the National Encampment, it does not require a motion. It just requires to be acted.
Okay, discussion. Yes,
I think it's
discussion. Yes,
Should be open for
quick to summarize, okay, changes are changing the wording in Article 1 from male, which is today, to male at birth.
Mhm.
Second piece is blood lineage versus what do we say now?
It just says, doesn't meet
Just,
the
yeah.
qualifications. So we're putting in blood relative qualifications.
Okay.
And let me just give you a little background on that. It's a completely different issue.
It is.
It's a completely different, the first one was sexual orientation. Okay, that's the first one, but we're given that it's the whole package, it's up or down, okay? The first recommendation was sexual orientation. The second goes back to the actual charter that we have from Congress. And the charter from Congress says that those eligible for membership in this order are blood relatives of someone who served in the Union. There's been changes made since then to restrict that to direct descendants of someone who served in the Union or a brother of someone who served in the Union. Okay, so a cousin or someone else would not be eligible. It expands the membership opportunities. My committee that I served on at the national level felt that it was really important that we expand our membership eligibility because we haven't grown too much. Okay, and make it more available. But again, this is all lumped together. So we have sexual orientation, we have getting back to what the charter actually says from the Congress, which is blood relative. And then the third one was a concern that we didn't want camps individually to penalize someone who changed their sexual orientation after becoming a brother. And that's what the last one does.
So, part of discussion. This puts brothers in a difficult position because I would be willing to bet there are many, and I am one, who agree with pieces of this and disagree with other pieces of this. So therefore, you have to vote down good ideas.
It's, again, I wasn't at any
No, I
encampment last year, so I wasn't there, I'm sorry.
Understood.
I wasn't here to clarify it last year, I wasn't at the national encampment to help clarify it last year. But it all got, it actually was two different committees. And it was membership, the membership committee and the special committee, it all got mishmashed into one motion, one general order that we have to vote on, up or down. And it's not that we can pick and choose.
Any other discussion, Secretary?
Well, yeah, just a couple items. As far as I'm concerned, the wording in the CNRs says male. I know what a male is, you know what a male is. Anytime you start adding verbiage to your charter or your constitution, it opens it up for interpretation and those kind of things. So in my book, I would vote down on all of these. There's no need to change our constitution and regulations. It seems to be clear to me, and it should be clear to everyone.
Brother-in-law,
yes,
I disagree. I believe that for membership to grow, you need to use the term blood relative. For cousins and people like that, not just brothers of brothers.
okay. If I understand it correct, though, brother Conrad, that addition of blood relatives is only applicable to juniors and associates?
No, if I could jump in here real quick. So what it said was associates and junior associates who do not meet the requirements for a blood relative. So it specifically said you can be an associate member or a junior associate member if you do not meet the blood relative requirement.
Yes. I just have one comment. That wasn't at the encampment this last year. Did we vote on the same thing, or did the encampment vote on the same exact thing? This is nothing new.
Nothing new.
We voted against all, they were separate pieces that we voted down all of them.
Yeah, there were 4 or maybe 5 proposals, I think.
And actually,
5, yeah.
I think for me, the argument was what Dale was given. There's no reason to clarify something that's already clear to me. Brother Burgess.
So I had a question about the associate membership. So if this passes, associates who do not have a blood relative Union soldier cannot be associates.
No.
Is that?
No, associates don't need an ancestor.
Right.
Why did you say so?
Then why did they say associates? That's my confusion.
Yeah.
If I can clarify again, things got mishmashed.
Yeah.
And what you're looking at right now is not what all the recommendations from the 2 separate committees have recommended. The language regarding junior associates and associates had to do with clarifying or making exactly the same language for associates and junior associates as for membership, okay, which says blood relative, right? And so we wanted to be clear that you can't be a junior associate if you do have a blood relative. Okay, and it was just taking the same language and putting it in all the paragraphs so they read the same language. To us, it was a clerical change. for that, but again, it's now gotten mishmashed into all sorts of other issues.
Yeah, so I would suggest, it seems to be like, our government tries to do when they attach amendments to bills that have nothing to do with the original intent. I would still recommend that we vote no, and they should put the blood relative thing into a separate, motion for amendment.
I would vote for that because there are some, like I said, which is unfortunate because I'm gonna today vote down some good ideas.
Oh, and one other item though, when they talk about junior associates, the Department of Southwest bylaws, our bylaws, we do not authorize junior associates. So that's a moot point for our.
But if I could bring up one thing, again, not necessarily trying to influence the vote by any means, but providing a little more background information. Based on where you are in the country, your definition of male could be different. So the concern, at least at a national organization, is we have someone applies for membership in one department, is declined because they don't meet that department's definition of male, and they turn around and apply for membership in a different department. And actually, it's even worse because membership is at the camp level. The camp accepts you at whatever. So it's even more granular, if you will, than even the department level. So you may have a camp even in the same department that refuses someone membership, and then that individual turns around and based on it. So an example, a woman that's transgender and she claims to be male now, turned away in one camp and then goes to another camp and is accepted as a member on the basis of, well, I'm claiming to be male now. So that was part of the rationale with having to define what being male constitutes. So we have consistency in our membership qualifications across the organization, and we don't have camps nilly-willy making their own decision based on their definition of male. That was the motivation for the additional language.
Thank you for that clarification. Any further discussion? So we'll put it to and all those in favor? Hold up your delegate card if you're in favor of the entire order.
A point of order.
Yeah.
I think what you're asking is not all in favor or all opposed. What you're asking is those in favor of ratifying the actions of 142nd for those opposed to the ratification.
Okay. With regard to the matter of ratifying the general order as currently written. Yeas?
Somebody help me with the count. I see
four,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Any yeas on the, no, none on Zoom. None on Zoom. All those opposed?
Somebody help me with the count.
15?
How many?
15.
Plus 2 on Zoom.
And 2 on 17.
17. Thank you.
Okay. Ratification fails. Thank you for the discussion. It is unfortunate. I feel like I voted for voted no on some good ideas, or at least the start of some good ideas. Maybe if better spoken. All right. Wow. New business. feel like there was some more new business that we didn't have.
Well, this is mandatory that the department encampment, we have to set the per capita amount for the following year, which would be 2024. I would hereby move our per capita amount for the department right now is $8 per year. I would move that we remain the same, $8 a year.
All in favor? Oh, second. Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? And these are even on the side, yeah.
Plus 2 and 2.
All those against? Unanimous. So, passed.
I would have one more.
One more new business from Secretary Emma.
I don't know that this probably doesn't require a motion, but I would like to suggest to our incoming administration, our new department commander coming in, to look into the possibility. I understand some other departments give a Department Brother of the Year award at their encampments. I would ask our incoming commander to look into that and see if it's something that we couldn't do next year. And I would also suggest that we name it the Lieutenant James Barrett Award for the lieutenant that was killed in action at Picacho Pass.
Cool. As incoming senior vice commander, that's a great idea. Any further new business? Brother Burgess?
What do I gotta do to get approval of the website? Does that need a motion?
That was the thing. That was the other thing, new business. Okay, the motion proposed is Brother Burgess moving our provider from GoDaddy to Bluehost. Do we need, is there a financial consideration?
Yes, it's gonna be cheaper. See, the element is my financial rate, yeah, it's just complicated, but the bottom line is it's significantly cheaper and it's significantly easier to operate.
Yeah, I don't know other than I think it would fall within the purview of the incoming council. Incoming council to don't you think?
I thought
because they're approving the 24.
but expenditure. Okay. Is that a separate?
I don't know that we need a separate on that. I think we just say that it's a good idea, right?
We'll bring it to the incoming council today and have them vote.
So, point of clarification, the council does not have authority for expenditure of funds. The department commander does. So you can vote on it today here at the encampment and maybe set a maximum dollar amount. But this has come up in another department. Council doesn't have the authority in the CNR to authorize expenditures.
The department commander, can you say?
Yes, or you can have the budget prepared and have the encampment vote on the budget. I'm not sure how you normally do your budgeting, but typically the budget is approved by the encampment. But you could if you know a ballpark figure, you could set a not to exceed value for the migration and approve it here at the encampment.
That was what we budgeted for IT, $820 some.
Okay. Do you know the total amount? It was 820 is that the annual expenditure? And it's less than that, you say? So
yeah, I think it's like a third.
Well, let's say not to exceed, then we'd be clear, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so it will not exceed the numbers we already have written, $828.
So you're saying I can do it?
Yes.
So is there a motion?
The motion is, okay, my motion was to, for the expenditures of IT for the department in 2024 will not exceed $828 as written in the budget. Second. Seconded discussion. All those in favor? Do we have any opposed? Those Zooms are in favor, correct?
Yes, the Zooms are in favor.
Yes. Okay, we are unanimously approved. All right. Taking care of business. Finished business. Any other unfinished business? Brother Horton.
Is this a good of the order type of situation?
Is this a what?
Is this like a good of the order situation?
No.
Okay.
Okay, we are now to the point of recognitions. We're going to do some recognitions. And I got a list here, so I'm gonna try and come through with it. We're trying to go forward here. And I have some certificates. I'll get that. Sorry. The first one I have is for Brother John Horton. Brother Horton, please step forward.
Good to be on my feet.
Brother Horton, I have a certificate of commendation, and you're getting this for being our loan representative to the National Encampment and doing an outstanding job of keeping me in the loop and presenting, our interest, representing our interests at National. You did an outstanding job. I so appreciate it being here. So thank you so much. I want a medal. I can't give you a medal, but here's a certificate.
No, so Commander, if I could make a recommendation for the material component to go along with the certificate, is you present Brother John with a belt.
A belt?
During the Friday night presentation to the commanders in chief, Brother Horton was beltless and was trying to keep his pants held up when the commander in chief and the national presidents were receiving their awards, and he was trying to present gifts and hold up his pants at the same time. So it was great. Brother John did the presentation, and there were no embarrassing moments for anyone. But everyone was very entertained.
I'm glad it was about wardrobe, because at first I thought you were asking me to belt them.
Now, I have a question for you, past commander in chief, to back that up. One of the gifts that I gave to the Allied Order of Daughters of SUV was handmade chocolate. And it's from a wonderful operation. But from your experience, are handmade things actually consumed by the people that receive them at that evening?
I don't know. I mean, I know you, Brother John, so I would trust you. But I can't say for sure whether the commander in chief and the national president.
Maybe he's on a diet, or it could be allergic.
Well, it was given to our wonderful young lady that is, I guess Vera is replacing. And I just needed her to have some token from Arizona. Okay, thank you.
No, thank you, brother. Then I had two, well, I'll go to one at a time because they're unique. Two brothers that could not make it today, Dan Huskisson, and this is for his work in JROTC and ROTC. He presented, as Brother Hafe said, 21 awards. He covered a lot of ground over the state of Arizona, and he just, for the good of the order, you know, for something that's so important, really the JROTC and the Eagle Scout programs, and you know the youth that are. I was telling Brother Swanson that in the department newsletter, you haven't seen so many young people's smiles on their faces. It's just they're not faking it, you know. So he did a lot of effort there. I will give it to him at our next camp meeting. He's almost at every one. He had a conflict today and could not make it. And this one's for David Camp. David Camp is a member of Picatcho Peak, and David has just celebrated, as Brother Hafe mentioned, 50 years of reenactments. He's been doing reenactments for 50 years, and we thought that was important enough to be recognized by him. So I will send those out to the brothers that could not be here.
Which brother was that for the 50 years? Which brother was the 50 years award?
David Camp, K-A-M-P-F.
Thank you.
Some ones that don't know before. Oh, those were the only one. Oh, I forget what this is for. What's the name? Jim Mel. Okay.
Hold on. What am I department? Picatcho and Grant. Dedicated servants.
Okay. This one's for Chaplain PDC Heller. Please step up. This is for all you've done for all of the camps and you know, past department commander. You've been a mentor to me and a friend, and I truly appreciate it. Okay. So I have ones here. Should have studied this, I suppose. Certificates. So I have Brother Stevens, please step up. Commander of our Grand Kid. This is for stepping in at the last moment and helping us. I'm going to read this. Everybody gets the same one, but I'm going to read this one. Certificate of Commendation on behalf of the Sons of Union Veterans in recognition of your valuable help in preserving the memory of the Union soldiers and sailors of 1861 to 1865. Richard A. Stevens, Camp Commander. Really appreciate it.
And Zoom Meister.
Zoom. And absolutely, the electronics. I mean, this setup, and you guys are benefiting online. His setup is outstanding. I mean, he really went to town on this. So if the audio or video are excellent, it's his fault. Okay. Brother Hafe, please step up. Camp Commander, PPC 1. And I want to read the words because I just read them, but congratulations. This is for the job you've done as Camp Commander of PPC 1. All that patriotic stuff that you mentioned, your presentations are excellent. You are the best of the last two camp commanders of the country. No contest. The next I have is for Sisters of the DVCW. I have service pins. We'll circle back to that. That's we'll do that. But while I'm on certificates, Verna Molesky, National President, please step forward. And accommodation, I think you understand what it's for, but thank you so much for all the work that you've done. And we're so proud of you about hosting the national meeting, and we're proud to support you in any way to that regard. And you know, it's been excellent. We also have a gift for you. Brother Tim. What do you call this?
Well, it's tough, but I'm gonna call it a wooden jar. But this was made by Jack Van Duzen, who was a member of US Grand Camp and passed away about 3 years ago. And he made about, I'd say probably 20 of those and just donated those to the camp. As an aside to that, he probably made about 150 of those various things and gave those to the VFW. I mean, he was so dedicated. And so that's not just off the wall, that's from a member, and he just loved our organization.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Sister Lee Nelson, please come up. We have an award for you. Sister Lee is from our Margaret Warner Wood tent, detached tent. Okay, and then this is the Dr. Mary Edwards Walker Award. So I'm going to read what it says. Okay. So it reads, awarded in grateful appreciation for service to the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War. And it's not one. This one, sorry. And the certificate I will read. Presented to Lee Thomason Nelson on behalf of the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, in grateful appreciation for outstanding service to the order and for preserving the memory of Union soldiers and sailors 1861 to 1865. Kenneth J. Hooker, March 2nd, 2024. You would like to say a few words?
Well, all I can say is I'm breathless. And I thank Tim Prater because without his support and his love of all of the Union soldiers, especially those at our oldest cemetery in Prescott, which is Citizens, a lot of things would not be done for the Union soldiers, and I am very appreciative.
I don't know how to get on Amazon, but I do. And, I've got the Dr. Mary Walker stamp envelope. I can't remember the date. You read the date.
Okay. The date is June 10, 1982.
So that's the inaugural envelope.
Beautiful.
And also, you got 4 stamps with her picture on it.
Thank you all.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, Brother David Swanson, please come up. we have a plaque. And so basically, you've done a lot of things. And one significant piece is you've been camp commander of all three things. And you're the only one to have done so. And you might be the last one to do so. You're gonna be a pen. We're gonna double your salary, we're gonna triple. And it's a beautiful plaque that, Tim, you want to describe the plaque? This is.
Well, you know, as I said, that I actually had to call David and get some of the information because he's done so much. But basically this tells, this is what I think of David. You may not even know David, but he's touched every life, everybody in this room. I believe he's a mentor to every single one of us. He's always there. And I know when I was camp commander, my goal was to kind of put him away. So he didn't have to do so much. And I kind of called him the Godfather. You know, he could kind of watch and kind of guide us and keep us going in the right direction. So I don't want to read this. David can read this at home.
Yeah.
But I would like you to read this last paragraph.
So last paragraph.
And I'll tell you how this relates to the Sons of the Union Vets in Civil War.
It says, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. And that's from David.
And I don't think David has ever, I don't think he's ever struck out, or if he has, he never told us. But in that light, I think probably I want to present him with the first baseball signed by me.
You worked a lot. Something. And this is called the Above and Beyond the Call of Duty Award. We're gonna need to do this. And brother of the years. Congratulations, and thank you. You've been So David was you were the department commander when I gave my speech in Tucson. For those that don't know, and for some of you who are sick of hearing it, you're going to hear it again. My one of my relatives is quite famous, General Joseph Hooker, was the commander of the Army of the Potomac from January to June of 1863, and Brother McCord, who is in the back here, and I used to tell stories about our Civil War ancestors at the cellar, the wine cellar where my wife, worked. And so we used to talk about the Civil War, and I knew all the stuff. When I came downstairs, they called me the general and salute me and everything. And so I gave a speech, which is available on YouTube. I gave a speech. If you got 45 minutes to kill or you need sleeping material, I gave a speech about my famous relative. So at the end of the speech, Bob says, you don't have to stick around. You can. I said, I'm kind of interested to see what you guys do. At the end of the meeting, I said to David, who was the guy in charge, and I said, how do I join? And he's like, write me a check. I mean, we followed all the CNRs, believe me, but it was really important to get the money. All right, so I'm going to do service pins, and then I have a few more things to report. Do you want to do the check, Tim? Okay. So I'll do this check. So this is brother Tim Prater stepping in for Mr. Clyde Taylor, who could not make it today due to illness. He is the Arizona State Coordinator and Vice President of the Missing in America Project Veterans Recovery Program. Now, this I'm going to do my best because I'm learning about this group, recently. They locate remains in crematoriums of deceased veterans, and they give them recognition that they deserve posthumously. Us humans. After they're so we gave a $350 donation, which the real check is already cashed, but for the purposes of show and tell, and I present you with this check, $350, Tim Prater, on behalf of the Missing in Action.
Thank you very much.
Hey, wait, look over. Please. Thank you.
A number of people in this room have participated in this program. What is truly unique about this is that I may be off a couple numbers, but at least 10 Civil War veterans have been found and given, their remains have been found. And here they fought in 1861, and 150 years later, they're being laid to rest. It's a very, very worthwhile program. And it actually impacts the Sons of the Union veterans of the city. And I very much wanted to have Clyde meet you, Commander, and just know how valuable this program is. If you ever get the opportunity to go to one of these services, you can. And here's the irony of it. Here we wanted to recognize Lee with her award, and lo and behold, about 2 weeks ago, Lee was on the front page of the Courier, and she had attended a service where an infant was reunited with her father, I think World War I veteran, at the Prescott National Cemetery. So all I can say is this is a valuable program. If you get the opportunity to attend or participate, it's well worth your time. Thank you.
Okay, if you need advice on cashing that check, it's Happy Gilmore. I'm gonna roll along with this stuff, and then I'll go back to, like I said, the service pins. I'm out of order. Oh, brother-in-law, I have a gift for you. And this is the Prescott encampment that we are at here today, and just a token of our appreciation for 10 years now of secretary, and we so appreciate it.
And you'll note that we have kind of plagiarized it. No, we didn't. Glad we didn't. So anyway, this is kind of a duplicate of the front page of the banner. And I asked Dale to send me a couple of pictures. But one of them is with Dale standing next to General Ulysses S. Grant.
I know.
Okay.
As the incoming SVC, I pledge. Hello. I pledge. Last speaking today. I pledge to help find you a replacement, because you've been doing this for a long time, and Brother Tim and I have already talked about that. It's going to be one of his focus areas. Our 10 years.
You get a little bit tired of the secretary treasurer for life.
It started out as a joke, now it's out. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you.
10 more years. 10 more years. Want to do the service awards? Okay, service pins. Service pins for years in SUW. Jeff Burgess, 10-year pin. Thanks for sticking around. Tim Prater, 10-year pin. Thank you. Mark Haynes, 20-year pin.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll send that out to you, postage, pay. COD.
I'll pay for it.
Okay. David Swanson, 25 years. Congratulations. Bob McCord, 10 years. Yeah, saving on time. It's easier. The seller's gone, but we're still, here we are still talking about civil. They closed down all this stuff. All right, service pins, acknowledgement of life membership. Dale Hodge, number 720. John Monroe, 728. David Swanson, 794. John Conrad, 844. Tim Prater, 849. Ronald Heyer, 939. Dr. John Oakley Sr. is 948. Gerald Bloom, 949. Robert Cox, 985. I don't know if you joined us. Richard Cox, 1030. Dale Enlow, 1037. John Agner, 1070. John Lyons, 1135. Congratulations. Okay, miscommunication on time we're going to eat, so we're gonna take a break to eat. The food is ready and they don't want to serve it if it's not ready. So we're gonna take a break to eat. How long should we? 30? 45? 30, 40 minutes. Let's reconvene in 40 minutes and then we'll proceed from there. So we're taking a lunch break. Yeah, that's not. All right.
So, Brother Ken?
Yes.
One other thing, if you review that general order, there's the last statement in it is, once the vote has been taken, the department commander through the department secretary will notify in writing the commander-in-chief and the national secretary of the results of your vote on the ratification.
Okay. So I will tell Dale to, does that need to be written today?
No, I'm just letting you know it needs to be done in writing.
Gotcha.
Do they need the actual vote too?
I think if you put, it won't hurt to put how many yays and nays you had.
Okay, very well. We'll get to it as soon as I can.
Okay, sounds good.
Sir? Yes, ma'am?
Yeah. And why did it send for the same seat?
Commander,
Yes,
Holy cow. I know that is extra special. Amen.
We're gonna get started. Call to order. Clarification, point of clarification, the vote on the general order number 2 has been not ratified, recorded by Secretary Enlow. There's additional follow-up.
I'm just saying you have to notify the commander-in-chief and the national commander-in-chief and the national secretary in writing
Sure. Okay.
the results of your vote.
Thank you, brother. Okay, all right, so we have one more administrative task, which is to elect delegates to our national encampment. Do any, we'll read the national encampment, where it's going to be and when it is. Once I find it. See what happens when you go out of order. Yeah, that's not bad.
Kentucky, Department of Kentucky, August 1 through 4.
So the national encampment, the 143rd national encampment, will be hosted by the Department of Kentucky, and it will be in the Allied Orders, excuse me, Lexington, Kentucky, August 1 through 4, 2024. Do we have any attendees that know they're going as of right now?
Anybody that would like to.
Is there anybody who would like to attend and be a delegate?
It's almost gonna be at the Daughters. It is the same.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put a motion to elect all department members in good standing as alternate delegates to the national encampment. Seconded, discussion? No discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No opposition.
So Commander, you should rate 5 delegates who don't rate an automatic attendance. So all of your PDCs and the currently seated department commander don't count against your delegate count. So you would have 5 brothers who are not PDCs or the department commander that you could designate as your primary delegates. And those are the ones you also need to elect.
It just occurred to me that it's during the Daughters National Meeting, and I know that we talked about having national representation. That sounds like a conflict, scheduling conflict.
Well, but not many of you go to your national.
No, I'm wondering about people from national who are coming to your.
Very rarely do they, so.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
Okay. But we have open slots if any of our members are interested to go and be a delegate. I encourage you to let us know soon.
Commander, if I may make a suggestion, I would really encourage you, as really the department, really the camp commanders, to publicize the national encampment and to find some representatives. It looks like this year we won't have representatives. That's going to be the first time since David, when did you go to California? Yeah, that was a long time. Well, yes.
1861 to 1865.
There's 2012. And we need to have somebody there. I've already made a commitment to the daughters. I cannot go. But it's an interesting meeting to go to. You learn a lot about how the organization operates. And I strongly suggest that if you have an interest, then please, and drum it up in the camps. Find someone who has an interest, okay? I will commit to taking that person's way to get there. If they'll go. Okay, so cost shouldn't be a matter of concern if we can get at least one delegate. I always feel bad when I'm in those national encampment meetings and there's 4 or 5 departments that don't have any representation at all.
John, you got you out of your commitment if you want to go to your national encampment.
I'm looking forward. Maybe Avery would go.
Yeah,
I mean, but I really, I don't want it to just go, look, if anybody's interested. I think it's incumbent upon the department to find somebody.
Agreed. I will work with incoming leadership, incoming commander, Prater, to try and see what we can do there. Thank you for.
Is conscription an option?
It was in 1861.
He's Brother Conrad is absolutely right. Last year, having one, although John Horton did the work of 10 men while he was there, and I've said that already, but it really is nice to have at least 3 or 4 or 5. So seriously, think about it. If you're on the fence, what can we do to kick you over to our side? Think about it. And camp commanders as well should definitely try and drive this and locate some members.
They've got good bourbon in Kentucky.
They do.
All hands go up.
Okay, we have some more presentations before we do the installation of officers. Let's do this one first. I have Susan Burke. Will you please stand forward for the ladies of the auxiliary? Gotcha Peak Auxiliary, number 1. Didn't know you were getting. Wow. Congratulations. Token of our appreciation. That's your motto, which and that's one of Tim's woodworking friends. Sister Verna, you have something?
I would just like to say that thank you for these Mary Walker awards. I believe that we have more awards than any other tent out there. We thank you. We have 5 of them now, we believe. And David, it is you, because of you, that the daughters and sons got together at this convention in 2012. You invited us to the camp meeting to say, this is time we should do this more. And so we started the yearly so thank you.
It's been fun for us too.
It has. Thank you.
I will say from personal experience, my sister, I got her to join. I've been going to some of the daughters' meetings whenever I can, and it's really, if you can, you should consider attending. We're like honored guests there, and we sure appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming.
Okay, the next thing I have, this is gonna be a Zoom gift presentation for Commander PCNC Paquette. I have here, which I hope you don't have, I know you got a lot of books on the Civil War. Fighting Joe Hooker. It is by Walter Herbert. It was written in the 60s, 1960s. It is the definitive biography on my cousin, famous cousin, General Hooker. And if you read it, you listen to my speech, you'll realize I just ripped the whole thing off right out of it.
Okay, very good. I wish I was there to accept it in person. But if you take a rain check on that, I will make it out there at some point. But if you want to mail that to me in the interim,
Yeah,
that's fine too.
absolutely.
Is it signed by his descendant?
I will sign it. I didn't sign it yet because I wasn't sure if they were going to send somebody in your place, and I didn't want to insult somebody by having the wrong name on it. So on the topic of General Hooker, I have another gift, and this gift is this is for Commander Paquette, and it is a 1963 Franklin Mint coin, and it is called the Transfer of Command. It is from Joseph Hooker on one side to General Meade, G. Gordon Meade, on the other side. And so it's on the back, it has a picture of Meade's memorial, which is 100 yards from the actual transfer of command that happened on June 28, 1863. And I thought it was a cool little thing and a tie into my family. So this will be coming.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I've got a place right here on my wall for it.
There you go. There you go. And now we will proceed to, does anybody have any other recognitions, awards? Okay. We proceed with nomination, election, and installment of VSW officers for 2024-2025. Brothers, I am honored to announce the nominees as chosen by the Department Council for the 2024-2025 elected DSW officers. For Commander, Timothy D. Prater. For SVC, myself, Kenneth J. Hooker. No applause necessary. For JVC is Todd T. Hoffay. For Secretary and Treasurer, not for life. And our DSW Council, our second term will be Scott T. Martorano. W. Mark Clark. And Brother Rick A. Stevens. Are there any nominations from the floor? Do I hear any objections to the proposed slate? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor of the slate of officers, raise your delegate badge. Any opposed? No opposition? I'm looking at Zoom as well.
When Mark comes back, when we get a.
Yes. It's gonna have to be sworn into. Slate of elected Department Southwest officers for the year 2025 is approved. I will now call upon installing officer, PDC David Swanson. Have the ritual? Did you have the ritual?
Men's herding cats.
So I'm taking the place of PCNC Prescott, and I just want to tell you, brother, that this afternoon or this evening after we adjourn here, we're going to go someplace and have a Scottish ale for you.
Guilt lifter. The membership was worth it just for that. I'm sure they've got him there.
I got it.
Yep. Okay, where are you? Commander Hooker. In relieving you of command of this department, on behalf of the officers, I convey to you their thanks for the manner in which you have discharged their duties. I trust that in surrendering the command of this department, your interests in the welfare of this order will not cease. Having received the highest honors which your fellow members can confer upon you, your continuing commitment will point the way for others who still serve the order. Please be seated. Commander-elect, are you prepared to announce your staff appointments?
Yes, I am.
If so, the guide will hand your list to the secretary. Or this is, oh, the secretary already has it. Okay.
Somebody's anxious.
Secretary, call the roll of the officers elect and staff appointees who, as their names are called, will rise.
Commander Timothy D. Prater. Senior Vice Commander Kenneth J. Hooker. Junior Vice Commander Todd T. Hoppe. Secretary Treasurer Dale E. Enlow. Council Member Scott T. Martorano. Council Member W. Mark Clark. And Council Member Rick A. Stevens. That's the elected, and you want the appointed as well?
Yes.
Appointed Patriotic Instructor Todd Hoppe. Chaplain Mark Haynes. Grave Registration Officer Avery France. Historian Dale Enlow. Memorials Officer John Horton. GAR Officer or GAR Records Officer David Swanson. Eagle Scout Coordinator Tim Prater. Department Counselor Dennis Diatley. Signals Officer Jeff Burgess. Guide Dan Huskisson. Color Bearer William Bill Smith. And Allied Orders John Conrad.
Will you rise? Brothers, these are your regularly chosen officers for the next term. If any brother has a valid reason why any of them should not be installed, let him now speak or forever hold his peace. You see, Brother Bill Smith is our acting guide. And would you please present the brothers for installation at the altar, starting with Tim Prater.
Well, getting your steps in today. We'll open it.
Just have Tim, if you just stand right over here. Ken Hofer, senior vice commander. And just put a line right in front of me if you will, right through here. Stand right through here, you're good. Junior vice commander, Hoppe. Secretary Treasurer Dale E. Enlow.
You my walker?
Council member Scott T. Martorano. And council member W. Mark Clark. Hoping maybe you can get them both.
Yeah.
Two arms.
Can't zoom out the camera. What are you saying?
Council member Rick A. Stevens.
We took the shortcut. I got a shortcut.
Eagle Scout Coordinator Tim Prater, up here. Counselor Dennis DeAtley.
That's what I'm counting.
Skills getting a lot of exercise.
Signals Officer Jeff Burgess.
Sweet in his new hat.
Color bearer Bill Smith, you don't have to escort yourself. Combine orders John Conrad.
Yes. Is it too late to back out? Got it. Really?
Jim, if you face me just for a minute here. Oh, never mind. You're the one good right there. You're the one good right there.
John Horton. David. John Horton.
Memorial's off.
Oh, John, Memorial's Officer, John Horton.
I vote to meet.
Good, vote again.
Say people bring their cards.
Early and often. Yeah. Just got it.
Brothers, you've been selected to positions of great honor and trust. With the commander, you will be responsible for the financial and material prosperity and interests of this department. The members of this encampment confidently expect that your discharge of the duties and responsibilities resting upon you will be conspicuous for zeal, ability, and good works. I trust that you appreciate the great confidence placed in you, and that you remember that the success or failure of the administration of your department will depend very largely upon the manner in which you discharge the duties of your respective officer. You would turn around and face me. Are you willing to pledge solemnly to the faithful performance of your duties? Tim, if you put your left hand on the Bible, and if everybody else would put their left hand on each other's right shoulder. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me using your name where I use mine. I, David Swanson.
I, David Swanson.
Having been regularly chosen.
Having been regularly chosen.
As an officer of the Department of the Southwest.
As an officer of the Department of Southwest.
Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War.
Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War.
I hereby renew.
I hereby renew.
Sacred obligation.
Sacred obligations.
Given at the time of my initiation.
Given at the time of my initiation.
And in the presence of Almighty God.
And in the presence of Almighty God.
And members of this encampment here assembled.
And the members of this encampment here assembled.
Do furthermore.
Do furthermore.
Solemnly and sincerely.
Solemnly and sincerely.
Promise and declare.
Promise and declare.
That I will.
That I will.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
In word and deed.
In word and deed.
And without fear or favor.
And without fear or favor.
Faithfully.
Faithfully.
Honestly.
Honestly.
And impartially.
And impartially.
Perform all the duties of the office.
Perform all the duties of the office.
Upon which I am about to enter.
Upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God. So help me God. God.
David.
Conduct the officers to their respect.
David, before you do that,
Oh, photo op.
okay, what I need is everybody to kind of go at an angle with whoever's in the middle facing toward the middle. And squeeze together like you like each other.
That's really hard.
That's hard. Okay.
It is. Yeah.
Thank you.
The officers can be seated with the exception of the junior vice commander, the patriotic instructor, and the senior vice commander. And the guide would escort them to their respective stations. Let's see.
Tim, they out there.
Guys. And Tim, you want to come up here?
Well, you can't see the two chains.
Guy.
So we're supposed to stand in our station. Switch it.
I've got basic. Commander talks.
Yeah.
Up here. You can be seated. He said you got it. Okay. Right. Commander, by the votes of the members of this encampment, you've been elected to the highest honor within the gift. Your election to this honorable position is an evidence not only of their regard and appreciation of your work and ability as a son of Union veteran of the Civil War, but it is an assurance that your conduct in the affairs of this department will be characterized by faithful, earnest, conscientious devotion to the responsibilities resting upon you. Grave trusts and grave care await you, and to their faithful performance, I now most solemnly direct you. Please rise. Thank you.
Our Father in heaven, we pray you will deal with the events of this meeting as you deem proper and fitting. Please answer the heartfelt prayers of each one of us as permitted in your perfect will. Preserve us in health, strength, and integrity while we remain here, and when our mission on earth is ended, take us to a better world. Amen.
Commander, your officers are now at their respective stations, and I am about to place you in full control. But first, I give to you your care, charter of the department, prize it for the privilege it bestows, and guard it sacredly for the heritage it represents. And I also place in your care the ritual of our order and the Constitution and regulations for the government of the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, both of which I advise you to study with care, to be true to its principles and faithful to its teachings. Lastly, you will receive this gallery, the emblem of your authority. One wrap calls the encampment to order and seats same. Two wraps calls the officers to their feet. And three calls up the entire encampment. And now, by the virtue of the authority invested in me as the installing officer of the Department of the Southwest, Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, I hereby declare the officers of this department legally elected and installed and qualified to enter upon the discharge of their several duties for the term ending March 2025 or until their successors are regularly elected and qualified and installed. Now I am pleased to present with you the badge of the office of the department commander. And I believe you'd like to have your granddaughter, Natasha, come up and pin the badge. So Natasha, if you'd come up here. The charge is going to go right there. Commander, assume your command. Each of your vow faithful to your trust, unflinching in your loyalty and rule with civility, impartiality, and firmness. And may your administration be successful.
Senior Vice Commander.
This is the good part. I told him earlier, we could just skip to this part, pin it on me.
First of all, I'm handing off the Senior Vice Commander badge that I've had for, I think, 3 years as Senior Vice Commander. I do know as Commander to have former Commander being your Senior Vice Commander is very awkward, and I don't look forward to it.
Better not need me.
And also, here is the badge for being the past department commander, so that
God goodness.
I think it was Dr. Robert Lepore who told this gentleman that the best title in an organization is when you're past. With that said, I'd like to present this plaque to Ken. It reads, presented to Brother Kenneth J. Hunter. Special thanks for your dedication and excellence as the 8th Department of Southwest Commander, 2023-2024. Fraternity, charity, and loyalty, Department of the Southwest, Son of Union Veterans and Civilians.
I'm gonna take this one off and I'm gonna put this one on. Is that what we do?
You should do that later.
You can do it later. Before you say some words, I want to say some words about you if you don't mind. Brother Tim, you have a few months ago, we started talking about planning, right? What are we gonna do? And Tim said, I want to be department commander. I supported my family to do it. And I said, that was great. And what I said was that the awkwardness comes about because I said, you know, you supported me so well, I want to support you in your endeavors. If anything, you know, comes up, I've already done it, and we can step in and help you. So I promise to be a senior vice commander I would like to say in the last few months, we went from brothers in the order to almost like brothers in real life and friends. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
And he planned most of this. I have a gift for Brother Tim Prater. And this is a copy of Fighting Joe Hooker. It's a book that makes me famous. I'm gonna read the inscription, okay? It says, Brother Tim, congratulations. I know you will do great things as commander of the DSW SUBCW. Hoping my goof ups will be quickly forgotten. Enjoy this book about Hooker from a Hooker in FCNL. Brother Tim. And we'll get one more. So I got to thinking about transfer of command with this coin. And I was like, Brother Tim needs one of those. I need to commemorate our transfer of command with this General Hooker to General Meade transfer of command. So I hope that your administration is as successful as Meade was at Gettysburg. It's all yours. Son, fighting king.
Well, we all got here about 9:30, and here I am, the last person speaking. And I'm gonna keep my comments short. But I can tell you, I served in the Army for 22 years. And to be the Department of Southwest Commander, I can't think of a better position to be in. And I do pledge to each of you that I'll serve you to the very best of my ability. And if I don't know how to do something, I'll get a hold of Ken Hooker. Where's he at?
I'm busy. Sorry, busy got that.
But, and I just gotta say this, I've quickly learned it's not about General U.S. Grand Camp or Concho Peak or Minty. It's about the sons and the daughters, and the auxiliary. We all come together. I learned more about that Walker Award, and if none of you know anything about it, you've got to read that woman's story. It's incredible. It's so easy sometimes to just receive an award and not know what's behind it. But that's why I want to say again here, Lee Nelson means all the world, everything in the world, and the things that we accomplished when I was commander of Greg Camp, I couldn't have done it. There's no way. And I like to think I have high quality. As soon as she got involved, if I'm here, we were up here. And it was just absolutely awesome. So I just thank the ladies in this room. But without you all, none of us would be here. I thank you for that. As far as Fighting Joe Hooker, I probably cost this out, and we're calling this Fighting Ken Hooker.
I'm a nice guy.
Fighting. I do want to say, I got to tell you something about Prescott. I thought, my God, what if we only end up with 10 people up here? This is such a beautiful turnout, but it's really a celebration of who we are. 50. Oh, 50 people. That's incredible. That really cool. Well, I want to tell you something about yesterday. Last night at the Brown Bank Grill, there were, I think, 22 people there. 24 people. That again, I think, speaks of the personality of our organization, men, women, children, whatever. It's just awesome. And I truly look forward to the next year, and I will do the absolute best I can. I do want to thank the past department commanders, and I'm asking when we're done if we could get a group picture, but I want to have Jerry stand up, Jerry Bloom, here's another one. David, James, Bob, Robert, John Conrad, You know, it's kind of like a race, you know, it's passed the pond, you know. And, there are those that are, who else?
Oh, Jim,
Jim Conlon.
I'm new.
Oh, there we go. How easily we were got.
Don't forget the new guy.
But you know, it's just ironic to, I finally, you know, once you're in the organization, well, then you start seeing these people and how this is maturing. And what will we be in a year? Well, we want to set some goals, and I'm going to outline those goals, and I'll get those out to all of us. And I just hope that we can all work together, and maybe we won't learn all of it from ourselves. We'll learn it from the Eagle Scouts, and Boy Scouts, and JRPC. You know, the future leaders of America. So that's going to be my comments for today. Stay tuned, and I will have more words to speak in 364 days. Does anyone in this room have any comments that they would like to make?
Real quick, I would be remiss if I didn't thank my lovely wife, Lynn Hooker. I know she doesn't like to be recognized publicly, but she's, you know, the phone calls while you're on vacation, you know, that you have to take. It's a bit much, and, you know, for all they do for us, really. You know, a lot of spouses in the room for the brothers, and really just appreciate all of your support and all of that. So thank you so much.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
I think John might have had for the good of the order.
Oh, John, for the good order. Oh, there we go.
One sentence. I want to appreciate everybody here, not listening to Roots Tech for genealogical stuff, not even go home and listen to the live stream. Genealogical.
Thank you, John. The one thing I put together a lot of stuff coming here, and the only thing I forgot was my glasses. So I've kind of stumbled through today, so thank you for putting up with my inability to read. Brothers, we are about to leave this encampment, retire to our respective homes.
I don't. Okay.
Reading glasses. Very good.
Let us regulate our conduct so as to bring home to honor and credit upon the great patriotic organization we represent. May we be faithful to our vows, mindful of our duties, and exhibit towards each other an unbroken commitment, a tender charity, and unwavering loyalty. Color bearer, tend to the altar, and station banners. Attention. I now declare the 8th Annual Encampment, Department of the Southwest, Sons of Union Veterans Civil War, duly closed.
Huzzah!
Have a safe trip home. Thank you.
Thank you for attending, my commander.
Wait a minute, you got the silent auction.
Oh, okay.
Charlotte Hall Museum.
Thank you to all the attendees on Zoom.
Thank you for setting this up. Very well done.
We'll see you when you can get out here.
Yep. Hold my beer, kilt lifter.
Those who signed up for Charlotte Hall, we have to be over there. It's starting the tour at 2:30. It's just down the road. It's not that far. I got room for 2 people in my car. If they want to ride, we should be over there by 20 after at the latest.
Hi, Jan.
Now, I have room for 3.
See you.
A white Toyota across the street.
This is metal. Metal money. Because the metal's along the front. The level made my life.
Hey, Rick. It's actually very good. Yeah. No, I think we need to.
Pastor Clark, come in, please come forward.
Let's,
Hey, Tim, you lost Tim already.
Yeah.